My girlfriend recently told me that I was replaceable and that she was just settling for me. It shocked me because right after saying that, she begged me to take her back when she realized she wasn't as wanted as she thought. I'm in a tough spot, and I genuinely need some advice. Let me explain everything that's been happening in more detail. I've been in a relationship with my girlfriend, whom I'll call Sarah, for about 2 years now. I'm 28 years old, and she's 26. We've been living together for the past year, and while it has been quite a journey, things have recently taken a turn that I never expected. I own the house we live in, and I've been paying most of the bills since Sarah is still in school and doesn't have a full-time job yet. At first, I didn't mind this arrangement at all. I thought we were a team, and it felt like a small sacrifice to support her while she worked on finishing her degree. After all, I love her and want her to succeed. However, in recent months, things have started to feel strange between us. Sarah has been going out more often without me, and I can see that she's spending a lot of time with her friends. I completely understand that everyone needs their space and time to hang out with others, but there's been a noticeable shift in her behavior towards me. She's been acting a bit distant and closed off. Whenever I ask her about it, she gets super defensive, insisting that she needs her own space. I try to respect her wishes, but I can't help but feel like something isn't right. There are moments when I just want to talk and share how I'm feeling, but Sarah often brushes me off, saying that she's busy or tired. I want to support her as she navigates her studies and social life, but I also need to feel valued and included. I can't shake the feeling that something deeper is going on. It's like there's a wall between us, and I don't know how to break it down. The situation escalated dramatically just a few days ago when we were having a conversation about relationships and loyalty. I thought we were having an open discussion, sharing our thoughts and feelings. But out of nowhere, Sarah said something that shocked me to my core. You know, you're pretty replaceable. There are plenty of guys who would love to be with me. My heart sank, and a rush of emotions hit me: upset, anger, confusion. I couldn't believe she would say something like that to me. After she made that comment, she quickly tried to backtrack, saying it was just a joke and that I shouldn't take it so seriously. But the way she said it didn't feel like a joke at all. It came out of the blue during what I thought was a normal conversation. Her tone made it seem more serious, and I just felt devastated. Who says something so hurtful to their boyfriend? We weren't even in a fight, it was just a regular discussion, and then she hit me with that comment. It felt incredibly disrespectful and hurtful. In that moment, I felt like I had been punched in the gut. I didn't know how to react. I wanted to express my hurt, but I also didn't want to make things worse. I found myself stuck in a whirlwind of thoughts, questioning everything. Was I overreacting? Was this a huge red flag in our relationship? Part of me thought I should just end things right then and there because it felt like she was already halfway out the door. I can't be in a relationship where I'm not valued or respected, where my feelings don't matter. But at the same time, I worried about making a rash decision I might regret later. I wanted to be sure before I did anything drastic. So, I decided to reach out for advice, hoping others might have been in a similar situation and could provide some insight. As I talked to friends and shared my story, they all had different opinions on what I should do. Some said I should give her another chance, arguing that everyone makes mistakes, and maybe she was just feeling overwhelmed with school. Others advised me to take a step back and really think about whether this relationship was healthy for me. They reminded me that I deserve to be treated with respect and love, and I should never feel like I'm second best. After gathering a lot of helpful advice, I knew I needed to have a serious conversation with Sarah. I sat her down and explained how her comment made me feel. I told her I was seriously considering breaking up with her because that comment hurt me so deeply. Instead of apologizing or trying to understand where I was coming from, she got angry. She called me dramatic and said there were plenty of better guys hitting on her anyway. That moment was a wake-up call for me. She insisted she was settling for me because she loved me, but she could easily find someone else if I wanted to end things. Hearing those words felt like a knife in my heart. I couldn't believe that someone I cared for so much could speak to me like that. In that moment, I realized I had reached my limit. I was tired of feeling like I didn't matter to her. I told her it was over and that she needed to move out. I reminded her that I had been paying all the bills and that she was living in my house for free. Her reaction was explosive. She started yelling, throwing things around, and all I could do was stay calm. I told her she had to leave by the end of the week. It was a hard thing to say, but I knew it was necessary for my own well-being. I needed to take back control of my life and stop letting someone who didn't value me have so much power over my feelings. Since then, Sarah has been staying with a friend. She has been blowing up my phone with messages. At first, she was angry, calling me names and saying I was the worst boyfriend. But then, the tone of her messages shifted. She started apologizing and begging to come back, claiming she was just stressed out with school and didn't mean what she said. She insisted that I was the one she really wanted to be with. But honestly, after everything that had happened, I knew I had made the right decision to break up with her. The way she treated me and the hurtful things she said made me realize I deserve better. I deserve to be with someone who values and respects me. Someone who would never dream of saying something so painful. Breaking up is never easy, but I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. I've taken the time to reflect on the relationship and recognize that I need to prioritize my happiness. I've learned that it's important to be with someone who appreciates me and what I bring to the relationship. I've also realized that I don't want to be with someone who makes me feel small or unworthy. The support I received from friends and even strangers truly meant a lot, and I'm grateful for it. I talked to my friends about my feelings and the situation, and they were incredibly supportive. They reminded me that I'm worthy of love and respect, and that I should never settle for less. Their encouragement helped me stay strong during a tough time. As the days went by, I started focusing on myself and what makes me happy. I began reconnecting with my hobbies and spending time with friends who uplift me. I've realized how important it is to have a support system and surround myself with people who truly care about me. I started exercising more, eating healthier, and taking time to relax. These little changes have made a big difference in my mood and outlook on life. Looking back, I can see that I was trying so hard to support Sarah that I forgot to take care of myself. I wanted her to succeed in school and be happy. But in doing so, I neglected my own needs and feelings. Now, I'm learning to find a balance where I can support my partner while also ensuring my own happiness is a priority. This experience has taught me valuable lessons about relationships and self-worth. I've come to understand that love should never make you feel less than you are. It should lift you up, not bring you down. I deserve someone who appreciates me for who I am, who values my feelings, and who would never dream of saying hurtful things. I've also realized that it's okay to walk away from a relationship that isn't working. It's okay to put myself first and prioritize my mental and emotional health. Breaking up with Sarah was hard, but I know it was the right decision for me. I'm excited about the future and the possibilities that lie ahead. I'm ready to embrace new opportunities, meet new people, and focus on my growth. I know that there are better things waiting for me, and I'm hopeful that I'll find a partner who truly values me and our relationship. For now, I'm taking my time to heal and rediscover myself. I want to make sure that when I do start dating again, I'm doing it from a place of confidence and self-love. If you're in a similar situation, Remember that you deserve to be treated well. Don't be afraid to speak up about how you feel, and don't settle for less than you deserve. Surround yourself with supportive friends who will remind you of your worth. Life is too short to be in a relationship that makes you feel bad about yourself. Ultimately, I believe that everything happens for a reason. I'm grateful for the lessons I've learned and the strength I've gained from this experience. Moving forward, I'm committed to living my life authentically, surrounded by love and positivity. As I move forward, I'm focusing on myself and what makes me happy. I'm excited to explore new opportunities and connections, knowing that I deserve love and respect in my life. This experience has taught me valuable lessons about relationships, self-worth, and the importance of open communication. Thank you to everyone who reached out with advice. It has been incredibly helpful as I navigate this challenging time. Final update. A new chapter in my life. I didn't think I would have another update so soon, but a lot has happened since I last posted, and I feel it's important to share everything with you all. After the breakup, I began to slowly move on and get back into my routine. At first, I focused on myself, spending time with friends, and diving back into my hobbies. I found joy in small things: reading, exercising, and just enjoying my own company. It was liberating to have that time to myself, and I felt like I was finally healing. However, just when I thought I was on the right track, Sarah started showing up at my place unannounced. At first, I thought maybe she was just checking in, but things quickly escalated. She would come over, crying and begging me to take her back. She claimed she made a mistake and was genuinely sorry for what she had said and done during our breakup. But honestly, her apologies felt hollow after everything we had been through. I could not shake the feeling that her sudden remorse was more about her being alone than about genuinely wanting to repair our relationship. I told her firmly that we were done and that she needed to move on with her life. It was tough to say those words, especially when I saw her emotional state. But I knew that taking her back would only open the door to more heartbreak. I was determined to stand my ground, no matter how difficult it was. One day, she showed up with some of her friends in tow, and they were trying to pressure me into taking her back. They were yelling at me, calling me a jerk for kicking her out, and saying I was overreacting. It was overwhelming, to say the least. I calmly told them that this was between Sarah and me, and they had no right to get involved in our relationship. It felt like I was being attacked from all sides. Eventually, they left, but not without creating a lot of drama and tension. Even after that confrontation, Sarah continued to bombard me with texts and calls. She sent a mix of angry messages, apologies, and guilt trips, trying to manipulate me into reconsidering my decision. At one point, she even tried to use our mutual friends to get to me. Thankfully, those friends respected my decision and didn't pressure me into taking her back. I was grateful for their support, as it was reassuring to know that some people understood my side of the story. Then, out of the blue, I received a surprising message from one of Sarah's friends. She told me that Sarah had been seeing another guy behind my back for a few months. Apparently, when Sarah went to him after our breakup, he dumped her because he found out she was still living with me and using my money. That revelation hit me like a ton of bricks. It suddenly explained a lot: the late nights out, her strange behavior during our relationship, and that hurtful comment about being replaceable. Everything began to click into place, and I felt a wave of betrayal wash over me. Feeling hurt and confused, I confronted Sarah about this revelation. At first, she denied everything, insisting that her friend was lying. But when I showed her the messages from her friend, her demeanor changed. She broke down and admitted to everything. In that moment, I realized just how deep the betrayal ran. She tried to justify her actions by saying she felt neglected and unloved because I was working so hard to pay the bills. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It felt like a punch to the gut, and I was overwhelmed with emotions. I told her this was the last straw. I never wanted to see or hear from her again. I felt a sense of clarity in my decision, knowing that I was finally putting myself first after everything that had happened. After that confrontation, I took some decisive actions to protect myself. I changed the locks on my house, blocked her on all social media, and made it clear that she needed to stay away from me. It was a necessary step, but it was also incredibly difficult. The weeks that followed were rough, but I started to feel a sense of freedom that I hadn't experienced in a long time. I finally felt like I was breaking free from all the drama and manipulation that had consumed my life for so long. I began to refocus on myself, spending time with friends who uplifted me and returning to hobbies I had neglected. I started running again, picked up my guitar, and even began journaling my thoughts and feelings. It was amazing how much better I felt now that I was no longer constantly stressed about the relationship. In my journey of self-discovery, I also decided to start seeing a therapist. I knew I needed help processing everything that had happened, and I wanted to ensure I didn't end up in a similar situation in the future. Talking to someone who could provide a different perspective was incredibly helpful. My therapist encouraged me to reflect on my emotions and the patterns that led to my previous relationships' dynamics. It felt like a relief to share my experiences with someone who truly listened and understood. A few days ago, I ran into one of our mutual friends at a coffee shop. She seemed hesitant at first, but eventually, she shared something that troubled me. Apparently, Sarah had been telling everyone a different version of the breakup. According to her, I was the controlling and jealous one, which is why she needed to go out with her friends so often. She painted herself as the victim in this entire situation. I guess it's easier for her to tell that story than to admit she was cheating and got caught. While it's frustrating to hear this, I've decided not to let it affect me. People who know me and who have been close to both of us understand the truth. They know how much I cared for Sarah and how hard I tried to make things work. I've already spent way too much time and energy dealing with her and the chaos she brought into my life. It's time for me to move on and focus on a brighter future. Reflecting on this whole experience, I've learned a lot about myself and what I want in a relationship. I realize now how important it is to be with someone who truly values and respects me. I want to be with a partner who supports me just as much as I support them. I don't want to feel like I'm walking on eggshells or competing for someone's affection. My future partner should be someone who brings out the best in me and encourages me to thrive. Looking ahead, I'm excited about the possibilities that lie before me. I'm ready to explore new friendships and romantic connections. I want to find someone who is kind, caring, and willing to build a healthy and supportive relationship together. I'm open to the idea of love again, but I know that I must take my time to find the right person. I want to be with someone who encourages me to be my best self, just as I would do for them. Thank you all again for the advice and support you've offered during this challenging time. You helped me see things clearly and gave me the courage to make the right decision for myself. I'm excited about what the future holds and am ready to embrace new opportunities. Each day feels like a fresh start, and I'm determined to make the most of it. As I move forward, I'm focusing on personal growth and healing. I've learned to prioritize my own well-being and happiness. I want to build a life that I am proud of, surrounded by supportive friends and healthy relationships. It's amazing how much strength I've found within myself throughout this journey. So, here's to new beginnings and the exciting path ahead. I'm looking forward to sharing my experiences with all of you as I continue this journey. Take care, everyone, and thank you for being a part of my story.